Millionaire thoughts, billionaire dreams. I know niggas who played ball and gave it up for lean.
Millionaire thoughts, billionaire dreams, but my account in overdraft, I'm about to scream.
Rich man greed,
a poor man prayers.
Every man bleeds,
but look how God made us.
Too many losses, it's only right that we win. I made a promise I'm never gonna lose again. Lose again, 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 lose again.
Under the Fair Use Act, these videos are for information and educational purposes, and I do not own the rights to any of these videos that are shown. All rights reserved to the original content creators.
Yo, what's going on? It's your boy SL550, and this is the Never Gonna Lose Again podcast. Before we start, man, make sure you like, share, comment, and subscribe to the channel. Help your boy on the road to 1K subscribers. Can't do it without you, so do me a favor. Before we start, hit that subscribe button. And shout out to those who have hit the subscribe button recently. Definitely been getting a few subscribers, and I truly do appreciate it. So shout out to y'all for hitting the subscribe button for me. So I want to get into this video with Dr.Umar. So Dr.Umar is somebody who I have respect for. I respect Dr.Umar in the sense of he's an intelligent brother. He's not stupid. He definitely is intelligent, and there's things that I disagree with him about. As far as, and it's just as far as like the whole extreme lengths that he go to about dating outside your race and things like that. I believe it's just extreme. I don't believe that God put us on this planet and for everybody to be separated, and blacks with blacks and whites with whites and other than like unfortunately we have a horrific history, and we know that they like to whitewash history. We know that the history books don't tell the true story of what happened to black people in America. They give you the watered down versions of everything. So we know that part. And I like the fact that he does expose things and give people a different way to look at and analyze situations that are going on. So he was on the Art of the Dialogue talking about Kevin Harts Roast, and how there was a lot of racial jokes that were not just towards Kevin Hart, but towards others that were there. And honestly, bro, I'm gonna be honest. I seen this segment. I didn't even watch the roast. I need to go watch it. I just don't be having the time, really, to be honest with you. But I did see a few things from it, and of course, we seen the Katt Williams and Kevin Hart making peace and whatnot, right? So I spoke on that on my channel. If you want, you can go check that video out on my channel. But I spoke on them making peace, and for me, it was just coming from a place of like seeing, us coming together is always a good thing to me, But a lot of people have been talking about how this was a humiliation ritual, and that Kevin Hart, that the jokes weren't funny. They weren't jokes. That this was a humiliation ritual, and Dr.Umar breaks this this roast down, and he gives you direct quotes from the so-called jokes that were made. And I'm not gonna lie, bro, these weren't jokes. These weren't jokes, and they weren't funny. I know people would, like Kevin Hart, will come out, it's all fun, it's all love, this is the art of comedy, is that we can express ourselves and that we could be, nah. You got jokes, and then you got something that's, borderline racism, and, he makes up some good points. and we'll see whether or not I agree or disagree with him. So let's get into this video.
How you feel about this Kevin Hart roast? I know it's been getting a whole lot of backlash right now for some of the jokes that was told on there. You seen it?
Art, on Mother's Day, Netflix had a Netflix is a joke festival, whatever that is. And part of that Netflix is a joke festival, they had the roast of Kevin Hart. I didn't know what this was. I didn't know what it was going to be. I didn't intend to watch it.
I'll be right back.
And then all of a sudden, the day after Mother's Day, my phone started blowing up. My Instagram inbox blowing up. My WhatsApp, my email, you name it, is blowing up. My Patreon is blowing up. I see a clip of a white comedian making a joke of George Floyd's death. It wasn't fun. It wasn't comedy. It was racist. But I thought that was the only joke of the Kevin Hart roast that people had a problem with. So I said, I'm going to need to address this, but I can wait. And then my phone continued to blow up. And I had brothers and sisters saying, Doc, this wasn't the only joke. It was dozens of disrespectful, insulting comedic material during that Kevin Hart roast. So I decided to watch it, Art. I spent 3 hours. It was about 2 hours and 45 minutes. I watched the whole thing from start to finish. I want to first read some of these jokes for your audience who did not see this. It starts off with Shane Gillis. He's the host. I never heard of the devil, but I know who he is now. He starts out by saying, I want to thank Netflix for choosing me to co-host this celebration of Black excellence. And when I heard that, I said, okay, that's an underhanded jab at Black excellence. He's basically trying to say, ain't nothing excellent about y'all. Y'all just a bunch of dumb niggas. That's what he was trying to say. But I said, okay, let me be patient. Because remember, Art, this is a 3-hour program. Then Usher comes out. Shout out to my brother Usher. He performed. He threw some jokes at Kev Hart. It was nice and clean. Shout out to Usher. I had no problem with my brother Usher. Then Tom Brady comes out because Kevin Hart, I believe, hosted Tom Brady's roast back in 2024. Tom Brady wasn't as bad as the others. He says things like, unlike your real dad, I actually showed up. He looks out at the crowd. Tom Brady says, who are all these people? I thought Spirit Airlines shut down. In other words, you're a bunch of broke black niggas. How did y'all afford to attend this show? Mind you, Art, is mostly white people out there. So this lynching took place in front of a predominantly white audience. I want to shout out my sister Regina King, Art. Regina Hall, not Regina King, Regina Hall, because I didn't see her laugh or barely laugh at any of the jokes. She was up there on the podium sitting down. She did not find it funny. Thank you to Sister Regina Hall for maintaining your integrity, as much of it as you could, during this public lynching of black people described as a comedy show. Shout out to Regina Hall. Art, they were cursing through the whole thing. Vulgarity, profanity. It was nothing but degeneracy. But let me continue. Shane Gillis makes this joke, Art. He says, Cheryl's husband unalived himself. Obviously, Black does crack because he jumped off a effing roof.
Cheryl Underwood is here. Give it up for Cheryl. Cheryl's husband killed himself. Apparently, Black does crack if it's married to Cheryl and jumps off the roof.
Bruh. Yo, bro. What? Yo, when he was saying some of these quote unquote jokes, I'm like, yo, I gotta go watch this. Cause I couldn't believe it. Like, what? Tell me how that's a joke. Where is that funny? You talking about somebody's husband who unalived himself. Period. It don't matter how you try to play on the words or anything. Tell me how that is something that is even worth talking about in a comedic way. Like, listen, bro, I don't take nothing away from hard work. People put the work in to get where they at. And I could say that Kevin Hart put in the work to get to where he's at. And we have seen these roasts. This is like a tradition in the comedy world. These have been going on way before Kevin Hart. So this is nothing new. But this does hint at something a little bit different, bro. You know, we already see a lot of the conspiracies surrounding, you know, the Illuminati and how, you know, all of these people who are ultra successful have bent the knee and all of that. We, you know, I think some of it is true, but I just find it hard to believe that every single person who has had a great career has bent the knee or you know uh, signed his soul over to the devil. I believe some people just got there with pure hard work, you know. And but this does, you know, they show the little signs of the the goat and the goats and all of that stuff. So it definitely plays on the conspiracies that people already have within Hollywood and this whole elitist movement. This is crazy. Let's get back to it.
Did you hear what I just said? They made a joke about her husband's suicide, Art. And check this out. It wasn't one joke about her husband's suicide. They repeatedly, throughout the whole show, made jokes about Cheryl Underwood's husband's suicide to millions of people watching this Netflix special all over the world. Let's continue.
That's crazy, yo.
They call Pete Davidson a winner, Wigger. You know what a wigger is? A white person who loves niggers. Then Shane says, racist devil, Shane Gillis, he says, I called Cheryl last night and asked her if it was okay to say some of these jokes. I want to say this to my sister, Cheryl Underwood, Art. I love her. I respect her. Great comedian. I love you, Sister Cheryl. But don't you ever again in your life give permission for white people to disrespect you, disrespect your deceased husband, or disrespect us. Because one thing we got to understand, Art, when they make these jokes about these comedians, they're not just attacking them. They're attacking all of us because they're digging up these old racialized jokes from the slave plantation and they're trying to make them popular again. I know exactly what this is, Art. Just like they trying to put us back in Jim Crow with the vote, they trying to put us back in Jim Crow with the comedy. They're trying to get our black comedians to give them a license to publicly insult, belittle, disparage, and disrespect black people. And I want Netflix to know we not having it. We not having this. We are not going to stand by and let white folks manipulate our comedians into making an ass out of themselves on TV for money so they can make it look like black people don't mind being treated like porch monkeys. Black people don't be in mind treated like animals. See, they shouldn't have the right to vote anyway. See, they should all be locked up anyway because who would sit up there and laugh at themselves being humiliated by racist white people?
I ain't gonna lie, bro. He got a point, bro. And I don't know about the vote thing. I think that they're trying to they're trying to gaslight black folks into believing that that they're trying to take your vote and all of that. I don't believe that whatsoever. And they try to say stuff like, "Oh, black people don't have access to their birth certificate and IDs and whatnot." So that part I don't agree with. I believe that everybody has a birth certificate. They're born with it. You literally sign to get a birth certificate the moment you have children. I have three of them. We have their birth certificates, social security cards, all that stuff. People are able to vote as black folks. So I don't believe that part. I believe that a lot of people um, um, that's so-called black leaders try to gaslight black folks um, so they can continue to keep voting Democrat. And one of the biggest tools that they've been using for over 50 years more now is racism. They've been using that. So, but this roast situation is crazy though.
Another joke. Kevin, it must suck being at 5'1", but at least being that short allows them to tell you apart from all the other blacks.
Being 5'1" sucks, but at least you can tell them apart from all the other blacks. Yeah, they told me to be racist. I don't.
In other words, Art, we all look alike. Then Shane said, they told me to be racist. He said this. They told me to be racist. He said it on the mic. And listen to this joke from Shane Neanderthal Gillis.
Let's think about that. They told him to be racist. What?
He said,
Yeah.
Kevin's ancestors came to America on a slave ship and a bottle. Kevin's ancestors came to America in a slave ship and a bottle, Art.
You know what's crazy about that? It's because in a sense it's funny because Kevin Hart is short. He came in on the bottle. But it's the whole thing of that they have been able to manipulate history to make black folks believe that they haven't been here. that we are. That's why you'll hear, a lot of white folks that say, "You need to go back to where you came from," and it's like, hold on, no, you came here and committed a genocide against people with melanin in their skin. African American, Native American, black, white, all of these things are made up terms that mankind has made up to make you feel as though you're different, right? They have made you feel that you're superior because they tell black folks, right, that their history starts at slavery. Like as if black people ain't been here. like they try to make it seem like black people had just came from just slavery, bro. You can't make this stuff up,
Long
bro.
before George Washington, there was a man named John Hanson, the first president of the United States under the Articles of Confederation. Born in the 1700s, John Hanson was a man of African descent, a proud, dark-skinned leader in a time when black excellence was buried under lies and denial. He was elected in 1781, leading the newly formed Congress that held the nation together after the Revolutionary War. As president, he established the first national seal, created the Treasury Department, and ordered all foreign troops off American soil. But when Washington took power years later, Hanson's name vanished from history books.
You can't make this stuff up, bro. Listen, a little racist joke is cool. But this is pure racism. Like this isn't like it's not even funny. I ain't gonna lie. It's
Actually
crazy.
talking about him being small, but you making fun of our enslavement,
Yeah,
the greatest crime in human history,
facts.
even validated as such by the United Nations last month. Are you kidding? You're going to make fun about the enslavement of my ancestors and you're going to pass it off as
When
comedy.
it comes to slavery, they always try to paint the picture that our history starts at slavery. And that's just not the truth, bro. Black people were here long before Christopher Columbus discovered America. He never discovered America. He conquered. He conquered it. and then called it America. You know, so they could try to whitewash history, and it's all about keeping the division going. It's all it's about. And black people are guilty of this too. We keep it going also. Hopefully somewhere in the near future, bro, we could get away from this whole racism thing. Um, but it doesn't look like it's going anywhere anytime soon. But let's get back into this video.
Public execution of the honor, self-respect, and integrity of Black America, and we not going for it. Let me continue. Listen to this one, Art. Kevin's father was a California raisin, but he wasn't raising anybody. His dad was addicted to crack, and he abandoned him. But I guess that's better than being there for the filming of Jumanji 3. I'm telling you, Art, if I didn't see it myself, if I didn't see this myself, you couldn't have told me that these were the jokes that came out of white people's mouths on international television while we were sitting right in front of their face. Let's continue. Here's another one. Now, Shane Gillis didn't say all these jokes, Art. Some of the other white comedians said them too when they got up to the podium. But most of them came from Shane's Neanderthal Gillis. Listen to this one. Kevin did well in Saudi Arabia because they thought he was the monkey from Aladdin.
How is that funny?
It ain't funny, Art.
Yeah.
It ain't funny. This was not comedy, bro.
Yeah.
This was a get.
I didn't hear a funny joke yet. I didn't hear any funny jokes yet. I gotta go watch it for sure. But when he's breaking this down, I don't see the funny. I don't hear the funny. I don't see. Oh, nah. I see where they coming from. Like, nah, that was kind of funny. Like, nah, these are. This definitely sound. It's crazy because I seen a clip of somebody breaking down this humiliation ritual thing, and this just really highlights that these things might actually be true. Just hearing this and then him actually taking the time to watch it and break and actually write these jokes down so he can explain his point of view on this whole entire roast that happened. But yeah, it seemed like Cheryl Underwood definitely got she got hit hard.
Drewski portraying Erica Kirk. But I don't have a problem with what Drewski did, Art, because he wasn't vulgar. He didn't call that woman a bitch. He didn't mention Charlie Kirk's name. All he did was imitate her behaviors, Art, for 3 minutes. That's all Drewski did. But white people are so...
God, man, what the hell?
Drewski portraying Erica Kirk. But I don't have a problem.
Funny.
It ain't funny, Art. It ain't funny. This was not comedy, bro. This was a get back for Drewski portraying Erica Kirk. But I don't have a problem with what Drewski did, Art, because he wasn't vulgar. He didn't call that woman a bitch.
Right.
He didn't mention Charlie Kirk's name. All he did was imitate her behaviors, Art, for 3 minutes. That's all Drewski did. But white people are so narcissistic, so paranoid, so psychologically entitled that they don't even think a black comedian has a right to do a skit of a black woman, of a white woman in whiteface when this white woman clearly supports the anti-black agenda of this government. You damn right Drewski had a right to do what he did. I'm glad Drewski did what he did.
And on top of that, Drewski never named Erica Kirk. He never said it was her. People said it was her. So that's the difference. Is that Drewski made a skit on somebody who could have been Erica Kirk, but he didn't say it was her. He didn't say this is a skit of Erica Kirk. But this is how, like, Erica Kirk And I'm gonna do another video with Candace Owens, because Candace Owens is on Erica Kirk's ass. She is on her ass, and she is exposing Erica Kirk for who she truly is, bro. And that's all she's upset about, is that she's being exposed, and nobody took the bait on, uh her whole routine, because that's what it is. Her whole routine after Charlie Kirk got assassinated. Nobody bought it. And she's angry about it because she wants to be the the you know, the widow. She wants everybody to feel sad, and she wants to get all of these these money opportunities. Candace Owens has been exposing her bad, and she doesn't like it. And all of these like Ben Shapiro's and the American Voice, the people that's on there, I don't know their names, but they hate Candace Owens. And they hate the fact that people like Candace Owens come out and say stuff like we seen with Tommy G, Dan Balzer, and others, like, who say, like, listen, bro, even Candace Owens even said that I'm in perfect health. I would never commit suicide. So if they say I did, you know who did it. So she's a threat because she's so big, she's so enormous in this space that they can't just outright just offer. This ain't the 60s no more, where the technology wasn't as advanced and things like that. So this is the reason why everything that they're doing, even surrounding Charlie Kirk and whatnot, it's falling apart. Because people aren't stupid. People have technology. People know what's going on. They're able to read between the lines. They're able to do their own due diligence. But yeah, man, back to this, man. That's a whole nother thing we'll get into.
But guess what, Art? These jokes that they did at this Kevin Hart roast, it makes Drewski's Erica Kurt skit look like a picnic, Art. You cannot compare that Drewski skit of Erica Kirk to what they did to Cheryl Underwood. In fact, Art, this should not have been called a roast of Kevin Hart. You know what they should have called it? The roast of Cheryl Underwood. This was the roast of Cheryl Underwood. They lured our sister there. They sat her up front, Art. They racially targeted her, and they unloaded on that beautiful, dark-skinned black woman all night long. This was a get back for Erica Kirk. Let me continue. This was the roast of Cheryl Underwood. They lured our sister there. They sat her up front, Art. They racially targeted her, and they unloaded on that beautiful, dark-skinned black woman all night long. This was a get back for Erica Kirk. Let me continue, Art. Kevin did so well in Saudi Arabia because they thought he was the monkey from Aladdin. Here's another one. Listen to this one, Art. Kevin is so short, they will have to lynch him from a bonsai tree.
Bruh.
Kevin is so short, they will have to lynch him
Why?
from a bonsai tree.
I gotta go watch this, bro. I gotta go watch this. There's no way that every joke has something to do with racism, slavery, something that had to do with just, the atrocities that have happened to black people in America. Like, everyone couldn't be. No, it couldn't be. It can't be, bro. This is crazy.
Somebody said that Pastor Jamal Bryant came out, as he should, shout out to Pastor Jamal Bryant, and he rebuked Netflix for this comedy special. Several black people did, but I want Pastor Jamal Bryant to go one step further. Pastor Bryant, you know what you're going to do, sir? You're going to get with other black ministers around the country, and you guys are going to draft a letter. All of you are going to sign it. That letter is going to go to Netflix, and you're going to tell Netflix, if anything like this ever happens again, there will be a national black boycott of Netflix. And not only are we going to boycott Netflix in America, We're going to ask our continental African brothers and sisters, our Australian African brothers and sisters, our Canadian African brothers and sisters, our European African brothers and sisters, our Caribbean African brothers and sisters, our Central and South American African brothers and sisters to boycott Netflix. If Netflix ever disrespects black people like this again, you will pay with your pocketbook.
Shout out to Dr. Umar though for kind of highlighting this event, kind of just breaking down what happened. Yeah, man, I ain't gonna lie, bro. These jokes they not jokes, man, and um, it does seem like that certain people, for whatever reason, what does that even mean? What is that? What is a humiliation ritual? Excuse me. Is there an actual definition for this? I gotta see because like, what's the sense of it? What's the reason? Uh, uh, well, this says it says a humiliation ritual is a deliberate systematic practice designed to degrade, belittle, or shame an individual. The goal is typically to strip away the target's dignity, enforce conformity, or assert dominance and control. So, yeah. Hmm. Hmm. It's interesting. Damn. So it's basically like a form of selling out. So basically, people are saying that Kevin Hart sold out, sold his soul, uh, bent the knee, and I mean, honestly, man, as much as I really love Kevin Hart, his work, his hard work, his work ethic, things that he's done. Uh, I said this in a previous video. When he did the movie Me Time, bro, that was what kind of did it for me, as far as knowing that he, uh, bought the beat. You know how they try to say that, they try to get black actors to put on dresses and stuff like that and play these roles, or whatever the case may be. They say that that's a form of a humiliation ritual. Um, I don't know if every single case is like that. Obviously, you got people like Tyler Perry who became famous for doing Medea. Uh, Before he ever became Tyler Perry today, he was doing his thing with the whole Medea thing. Um, on his own. He was doing his own thing in theaters and whatnot. But as far as just this whole humiliation thing, it does seem like it does seem like people have a great point about this. But anyway, like I said, man, shout out to Dr. Umar for kind of putting a spotlight on this situation. And people, we do need to be more together. Like, that's for sure. We do need to not conform for money. You know, we kind of seen that. And Chan on the pivot asked Terrence Crawford what amount of money would get him back in the ring. And he said none. And he said, well, come on, man. Everybody got a number. So, uh, 50 million, 100 million. He was like, none. He said, for 100 million, you can have my soul. He is like, and Terrence Crawford was dead serious. And he made a very good point. And he said, well, that says a lot about you. That all basically what he's saying is it takes a certain amount of money to get you to do what they want you to do. And it goes to show character. And that is important, bro. Is that there's a line that you can't cross. Because you got to, at the end of the day, um, I don't act like I'm perfect. I'm not perfect. I do things that I shouldn't be doing. But I'm not going to promote it. I'm not going to be like, oh, let me promote, smoking even weed. You won't never see me smoking on a stream or nothing. You won't know if I do or I don't because I don't want to promote it. You know what I'm saying? At the end of the day, it's not to act like I'm perfect or anything like that. No, it's just that I don't want to promote it. That's that, you know? And I don't want to promote anything that goes against what I believe in. And we've seen Kevin Hart conform when it comes to the, homosexual stuff. So, but yeah, man. Anyway, man, that's the show for today, man. If you like this show, do me a favor. Please hit that like button, share the video, comment down below whether you agree, disagree. Tell me what you think about these jokes. Were they funny? Were these jokes actually funny? Did you not find the special what they try to say it is? Like as if it was phenomenal and the best thing since sliced bread? You let me know, and definitely do my best to get back at you. But also do me a favor and hit that subscribe button. Help your boy on the road to 1K subscribers. Can't do it without you. Hit that subscribe button for me. But anyway, this your boy SL550. This is the Never Gonna Lose Again podcast. Until next time, I'm out. Millionaire thoughts, billionaire dreams. I know niggas who played ball and gave it up for lean.
Millionaire thoughts, billionaire dreams, but my account in overdraft, I'm about to scream.
Rich man greed,
A poor man prayers,
every man bleeds.
but look how God made us.
Too many losses, it's only right that we win. I made a promise I'm never gonna lose again. Lose again, lose again, lose again, lose again.